This year discussion on budget 2022 is going to be really special. Why? Because this time we are going to have industry experts who are going to share their views on our YouTube channel. But who are they? Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a very interesting video about my analysis of budget 2022. I know I'm trying something new. This is the first time that I'm trying to do a one take, but on a green screen, so you can see my beautiful house, which is not my house. It is just a background that I've tried to use. So, anyways, what we are going to do is that I'm sure that everyone, after seeing the entire budget today, they have their own thought processes. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to lay down my thought process on the budget. And because this is going to be a one take, because today itself we have tried to analyze and try to simplify this budget for you. It may happen that I'm also a human being, so it may happen that there might be some tongue of slip or slip of tongue. So, just in case if I miss out something or if I just say some other figure, I will be putting any correction, if any, in the pinned comment. Okay, so after watching the entire video, also don't forget to check out the pinned comment. Okay, just as on a safer side. So if you ask me my overall view on the budget 2022, to be really honest, I believe that when the entire budget was over, I got that feeling from inside that ये नया इंडिया है, ये प्रॉब्लम के जड़ में घुसेगा भी और उसको मारेगा भी. So I'm sure you might have easily guessed the movie. My Bollywood person inside me just doesn't stop me from thinking all these dialogues, right? So I mean, since I started following budget, when I became a CA, I started following budget pretty closely. Many a times I did not used to understand half of the things. Slowly, steadily, it was a journey for me. Over the last 12 years, I've been watching the budget, trying to analyze it, whatever I can. But I believe that every single time, be it immediately post budget or be it in the next day's newspaper, the big question used to be, is this a common man's budget or not? Kya ye aam aadmi ka budget hai? And then politicians used to tell each other, "ये ऐसा ही है, वैसा ही है." But to be really honest, it was a pleasure listening to Nirmala Sitharaman madam today, wherein a finance minister is talking about blockchain, upskilling, gaming, BAS, which is battery as a service, DAS, which is drone as a service. And I think all these amazing terms being used by our finance minister really portrays our Naya India ka image. And I truly believe that whatever was presented during the budget is going to be taken up very positively by all the investors. And I hope you have seen how our markets also reacted to it. So, what we are going to do in today's analysis is that I'm going to tell you top 10 points or top 10 areas which I thought were really interesting in the budget. And I believe that because this is, I'm terming this as a pro growth budget. Why I feel that it is a pro growth budget is what I'm going to try and tell you through the entire video, right? So, instead of going my topmost point, then 2, 3, 4, instead of that, we are going to go like a song's countdown from 10 to 1. So, importance wise, right, whatever I'm talking from general my perspective, just because it is on number 10 doesn't mean that it is a faltu point, not at all. But I'm going from number 10 to number 1, right? So the first point, number 10 point that I'm going to talk about today is about the educational inclusion that had been brought by our finance minister during the budget. She mentioned that we are focusing on one class one TV channel. So currently under the PM Vidya scheme, they are planning to expand the existing 12 channels to 200 channels, and they are going to focus on a fact that they are going to put all these educational content not only in English or in Hindi, but they are planning in all regional languages, right? So this is going to be a very good supplementary education in regional languages for all class numbers 1 to 12. All in all, I believe that whatever they have announced about the digital university, wherein they are saying that we are believing like having a hub and spoke model, which is intended for quality education across the country. I think all in all these efforts which have been discussed during the budget are worth. First point about educational inclusion. Second point is about the financial inclusion, and again a very welcome move wherein the finance minister said that 100% of 1.5 lakh post offices will come under a core banking system. I'm sure people like you and me, or the younger generation as well, the moment people say that you invest in post or what, will be like, matter what, who's going to visit the post? All these systems you have to wait back in a line, there's no access for online digital. The digitization is pretty poor right now, but I think this very move of going ahead with digitization to a next level in the post office sector is, I mean, in the post office area, is really commendable. And I believe with this, not only farmers, senior citizens, they are going to get benefited. Now you might be like, why would they be benefited because of digitization? Obviously because of core banking. Now you can visualize that a farmer was in, let us say, village A, and now he has moved to village D. Now earlier he used to have to go to village A again to do the post office transactions. Now because of core banking thing, he will be able to access his account from anywhere and everywhere, right? And so not only about senior citizens, farmers who now are very well adopted with the core banking system, all the young generation will also get attracted towards this. So I think a very welcome move again for financial inclusion, especially digitization in the post sector. Point number 8 is about farming, and I think again 2 3 important points about farming. Number 1 is MSP. Now what is MSP? That is nothing but the minimum payment. Okay, it's like a minimum guarantee payment which is being given by the government to the farmers. Okay, so that's like a minimum selling price in simple words. Okay, so it's like a confidence which is given to the farmers that whatever crop you are selling to us. Say, they have of course talked about the wheat in Rabi and paddy in Kharif 2021-22. They have said that don't worry, whatever you're selling to us, we are guaranteeing you some MSP, minimum selling price. And how much is that? Payment of 2.37 lakh crores MSP value will directly get credited to the bank accounts of 1 lakh 63 lakhs, or I can say 163 lakh farmers. They will all be the beneficiaries when they are going to procure for wheat in Rabi 21-22 and paddy in Kharif 21-22, right? So this is an important point for MSP, a very good move for the entire agriculture and farming put together, right? Second one is about oil seeds. Again, a very important point. If you have seen my video on Adani Wilmar, in that I told that there is a huge crude oil import bill. Okay, not only crude oil import bill, but especially those oil seeds that we have to also import right now. There is a huge dependency on the import of oil seeds right now. So what the government is saying, to reduce this dependency, government is going to provide some impetus. Okay, they're going to provide some incentive for what? For increasing domestic production of oil seeds. And I think that is also again a welcome move. This will reduce our import bill sizably, right? The next one is about drones, and I believe that again this is something which was again very good to hear. Drone as a service, DAS, and wherein they have mentioned that they are going to use this Kisan drones that will be used for promoting the crop assessment, digitization of land records, spraying insecticides and nutrients. You can imagine farms being spread across acres and acres, and a drone is flying on top of that. It is either spraying fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides. Not only that, it's also checking out what is the quality of the crop, any point where there is some maybe some infection which is there with the crops. All these things is going to be done with drones. And not only that, as I mentioned, digitization of land records is also going to be used with the help of drones. Okay, drones as a service. Second nice point they have talked about in this same thing is that they are planning a fund with blended capital raised under co investment model, which will be facilitated through NABARD to finance agri startups. So I think agri startups is something which again is being promoted with facilitation support of whom? With facilitation support of NABARD. And no need for me to tell you that India is right now an absolute startup hub. And why only hub in IT sector? Why startups only in fintech, edtech, this tech, that tech? Now we are talking about even farming and agri startup, and that too with the help of drones. So somewhere agri tech Something like that also might come up, right? If I'm talking about overall farming, 3 points as I mentioned. Number one was MSP, number two oil seeds, and number three drones. If I talk about all these 3 points, which stocks can come into focus? It could be something like Kaveri seeds, Gen irrigation, and on the technology part, it could be Zen technologies, it could be Paras defense space technologies, right? So Paras, Zen, Kaveri, Gen, all these are examples of stocks which can get benefited. Is this a stock recommendation? Answer is obviously no, right? So moving ahead with number 7 is telecom. I'm sure everyone knows that government has mentioned that yes, we are going to go ahead with spectrum auction sale in 2023, wherein they are going to launch a 5G spectrum sale. Of course, it's going to have a benefit to the government. Why? It will help government to raise money, right? How will it benefit the telecom companies? Of course, with the launch of 5G schemes, more and more revenue generation opportunities are thrown for the telecom sector companies. And in addition to that, what amazing point government has done is that they have introduced PLI for 5G equipment manufacturers. Okay, so anything which is related to 5G, a specific sort of equipment, if it is required to to facilitate 5G network, right? So for that, PLI schemes have been given by the government. One amazing additional point is that they're also encouraging laying down of optical fiber cables in all villages by 2025. So all these points are covered under the telecom sector. Which stocks to watch out for? It could be something like a Bharti Airtel from telecom. It could be something like Railtel or HFCL, or it could be even Sterlite Technologies, right? So all these, again, let me tell you, just examples, not a direct recommendation, right? Moving ahead with one more important sector which was discussed during the budget is defense, and wherein some good points again, wherein the finance minister said that defense R&D will be opened now for industry, startups, academia, right? So now you can imagine R&D will not be done only by DRDO. They can be done by industries, by startups also, and they will work together with DRDO. And then, of course, the final, actual manufacture and what that will be done, right? In addition to that, it has been mentioned that 68% of the capital procurement budget will be earmarked for domestic industry in 2022-23. So, all in all, I can say that this is going to give a boost in the defense sector, and it will also help to grow our Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India themes, right? One more important, again, encouraging move is private industry will be encouraged to take up design and development of military operations, or military platforms and equipment, sorry, in collaboration with DRDO and other organizations through SPV model. In fact, the point that I mentioned just a minute ago. So private industries can do a lot of R&D and all that, and they can also participate in design, in development, and they will be working with whom? They'll be working with DRDO, right? Which stocks can be watched out for? Of course, stocks to watch out for can be Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, could be Cochin Shipyard, again, could be a company like Paras Defense, again, could be a company like Zen Technologies, right? So, I hope you have understood till now that there could be multiple sectors which can be watched out for. But, there are so many people who keep on asking me that which specific company or which specific sector that you would choose specifically. And for that, I believe that there are two possibilities, right? Possibility number one is that you yourself are aware about how to pick stocks fundamentally. That is doable. Or possibility number two could be that you can just check out a way to invest in a theme rather than investing in a stock. So if you want, I'll just quickly share my screen wherein I just can show you what I am talking about. So let me just quickly share my screen. And yes, so this is where I wanted to quickly tell you that what small case has done. They have prepared a separate tab which talks about budget 2022, right? And here you can see that they have different themes, including what? Electric mobility, green energy, we are yet to talk about that, India opportunity strategy, transport India, infra, affordable housing, innovation, high quality, right price. Majority things we have not yet covered in today's video coming up. Okay, so what you can check, acha, if you believe green energy has been given an amazing boost, coming up in the immediate next section, what will you have to check? What were the returns? How much is the volatility involved? How much is the minimum amount involved? Okay, plus you can enter each and every theme. You can check why you should invest in this. You can check the past performance, everything you can understand in absolute detail. So just in case, as I mentioned, if you are not aware about which specific stock to choose, here under budget 2022 you can have a look at investing in a specific theme rather than you doing your fundamental analysis for a specific stock, right? So if you want, you can of course check the link of these small cases in the description box, and pick up your theme for the budget. Chalo, so moving on, again, one more amazing point is about the job creation. Again, our finance minister talking about animation, visual effects, gaming, comic. I mean, AVGC is what she has termed. But I would have never imagined in my wildest dream that our FM is talking about gaming, right? So I think this can again have a nice way to encourage our youth in all these modern ways of job creation and earnings as well. They've also given a special focus on MSME. I'm just going to read out the names for you. Wherein in MSME, there are three different schemes that they have come up with. One is ECLGS. Second, which is basically Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. I'll tell you in short what is that. For MSME's, problem is about how to get funds. Mobilization of funds is a problem. Government says bindas take funds. And who is going to lend them? Of course, NBFCs, right? But government says up to a specific amount, we'll stand as a guarantor. Will it be easy for the MSMEs to get loans in that case? Answer is yes, right? Second one is CGTMSE, that is Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises. Again, similar thought process here. And RAMP is what they call it, Raising and Accelerating MSME Performance. With all these things coming up into place, again, focus 100% is that here we are focusing on MSMEs, we are focusing on job creation, okay, we are focusing on giving them ease of financing, we are focusing on upskilling, reskilling, so that we are preparing our MSMEs to become big in the near term, right? With all these MSMEs being geared up with the necessary skill sets, I believe that the China plus one model, wherein all the big companies where they only focus on China, now they look at India as plus one, and where business can really be coming to India and can give a big boost again to our economy. With all these things, which could be the stocks in focus, it could be something like a Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services. Remember, I talked about NBFC giving loans, right? It could be Chola Mandalam Investment. It could be Bajaj Finance, IIFL Finance. It could be Credit Access Grameen. And again, because I talked about gaming, it could again be Nazara Tech, right? Moving ahead with one amazing point close to my heart, taxation again. Very important, that virtual digital assets, and best example of that is cryptos, right? And government has announced that we are going to give a flat taxation for that of 30%. I am super happy with this move for two reasons. You might be like, what happened? Why is Rachana happy? Two reasons. Number one, for those who are investing in cryptos right now, many people are asking me, ma'am, if government bans, then what? If government is now putting a tax rate for that, then government banning it becomes as good as zero possibility. Okay. Number two, are a good source of revenue for the government. It's as good as they're saying that, for winning a game or winning a lottery, it's a flat rate of taxation. Same thing they have applied for cryptos also. So good, those who want to still invest in crypto, very well, you're clear about what is the taxation. Government is also happy. Bindas invest karna hai, karo, pay 30% tax, flat 30%. Acha, is there any deduction? Yes. If you are having some cost of acquisition for that, that will be available as a deduction, right? But on the other point, they have said that if you lose some money, so basically if it's a loss for you, that you are not allowed to set off against other income, right? One more point that they have introduced here in the taxation perspective is that, again, a very welcome move, surcharge on capital gains, be it capital gains on equity or real estate or whatever, any capital gains, long term capital gains we are talking about, obviously, that is going to be capped at what? That's going to be capped at 15%. Okay, so just as an example, if you have seen my previous video on budget, I'm if I can do the editing, I'll try to put the I button. In that, I had mentioned that if you're into the super rich category, you have to pay up to 37% surcharge. Okay, instead of that, surcharge is now being capped at 15%. Again, a very welcome move for people who are in the high tax slabs. One more amazing point which has been mentioned is that tax incentives for startups. So again, I believe that a lot of incentives, a lot of positives are being given for startups, for job creations. So again, all in all, welcome moves for startups, MSMEs, right? One more point is that GST collection was discussed during the budget, and our finance minister gave an amazing figure of 1.4 lakh crore almost for the month of January, which has been the highest since the inception of GST. One more point, which is not directly related to taxation, but yes, government is going to introduce their own digital currency of Indian rupee in financial year 23 itself. It'll be interesting to watch out how this pans out. We don't have 100% clarity on that. So as and how we get more and more information on that, I'll be surely updating to you via our YouTube channel. Right now, again, I would want to just share my screen, because here there are a lot of figures involved, and you should also be aware about what point I'm talking about. So let me just quickly share my screen again. We are on to the last 2 points. Yep. All right. So let me just do a slideshow here. So this is about infrastructure, and in infrastructure we are talking about railways, roadways, ropeways, housing. And if I'm talking about railways, 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains are going to be manufactured during the next 3 years. 2000 kilometers of network will be brought under the Kavach. Okay, so what is this? I'll tell you quickly about Kavach, automatic train protection. So you can imagine that two trains are traveling in exact opposite directions. Then there'll be a technology which can sense that, oh my god, there could be a possible accident, and automatically these trains will start slowing down and it will avoid an accident. That is basically about the Kavach. Okay, so this is again a welcome move. Plus, one amazing thing, one station, one product to be popularized. So it's something like a vocal for local thing. So you can imagine now, BA station again. This is the famous point for this station. So it will again give a boost for the local products there, right? 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains. Acha, what will or which stocks can get impacted with this? New trains, of course, it will be IRFC. If you're building a new train, of course, a lot of steel will also be required. So something like a Tata Steel, SAIL, all these again will come into focus. Right now, if I'm talking about roadways, national highways network is going to be expanded by 25,000 kilometers in 22-23. Then if I'm talking about national highways, which stocks can be checked up, it can be LNT, GR Infra, should be ideally GMR Infra, sorry, KNR Constructions. All these can be looked at for roadways. Right, ropeways is again an important one. Parvatmala, national ropeway development program is laid down during this budget, wherein contracts for 8 ropeway projects for a length of 60 kilometers will be awarded in 2022-23, and this will improve the connectivity and convenience for commuters and promote tourism. Right, and I think if tourism is promoted, automatically hotel industry is going to be a sector which automatically get a good boost. Right, finally coming to housing, 2022-23, 80 lakh houses will be completed under PM Awas Yojana, both rural and urban, and 48,000 crores is allocated for this purpose. And with, see, housing is a sector where one housing, if it gets a boost, immediately allied sectors like what, like paint, like steel, like cement, all these are going to be in are going to get a good boost, and all in all it will have a snowball effect which can have a GDP multiplier effect. Right, so with housing, which stocks can be checked out, it could be something like Godrej Properties, Tata Realties, DLF. Right, coming to infrastructure 3B now, where I'm talking about water, and I'm sure you have heard the Prime Minister say about Har Ghar Nal Se Jal Yojana, wherein 60,000 crores have been allocated with the aim to cover 3.8 crore households in 2022-23. With this, of course, something like Prince Pipes and Fittings, Finolex Industries, all these which can help to take water to every single house. Those pipes basically can be into limelight. Right, next one is about logistics, where PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals, or be it implementation of multimodal logistic parks, be it unified logistic interface platform, all these things are going to take our logistics to the next level. If a platform, a unified platform for logistics interface is developed, then automatically cost will reduce, time will reduce, it will help in JIT, right, just in time inventory. A tedious documentation process can be reduced. So all in all, I believe that with logistics going to the next level, costs will reduce and will benefit the entire logistics sector as a whole. Right, so something like an Aegis Logistics can be checked out for, I mean, can be a stock to watch. Going ahead with health, so building national digital health ecosystems under Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. Again, this will be a good one. They are planning to have digital registries of health providers and health facility with unique health identity. So you can imagine my entire history, okay, health related history can be on a portal, and any doctor I'm visiting, may he or she be from Pune or from or any other city in India, that person will be able to check my health records. Okay, and plus I will get to see who all are the health providers. So all in all, a database for health related things. My team member is coughing quite a bit, so focus on the health point as well. Okay, right. So next one is about data centers. So right now government has given a good boost for data centers, wherein they have mentioned that data centers were clubbing up under the infrastructure sector. Why? If a specific area is clubbed up under infrastructure sector, automatically getting finance for that becomes easy, right? So more and more data centers, energy storage systems in India, that will get a boost. See, all we're trying to get India to the next level, right? Why data centers only outside India? We'll have our own data centers, right? And that is being clubbed up under the infrastructure sector. All in all, I hope you have understood all these points about infrastructure. I thought of sharing my screen. I know it's not a very well drafted PPT, right? But I think knowing all these figures, having them in front of you was important. Coming to my ऊपर से second top sector is energy transition. I was very happy to grasp these things while the PM was talking about that. We all are talking about clean energy, green energy, and all these points have been bang on during the budget speech, when government says that we have an ambitious goal of 280 gigawatts of installed solar capacity by 2030, and additional allocation of 19,500 crores for PLIs, right? If you have seen my video on EVs, I have talked about this. Our government has EV 30 at 30 ambitious plan. Again, I'll try to put I button wherever it would appear. And also, in that same video, I've discussed about our crude oil import bill being $7 trillion. That will also reduce if we have a lot of alternatives for crude oil, right? So this is it about solar. And if I'm talking about EVs now, there's one more amazing video which I'm in the process of making it. In the month of February itself, I'm going to talk about all these things, where I have discussed about green bonds in that as well. Government is going to come up with green bonds in financial year 2022-23, which will be issued for mobilizing resources for green infrastructure, right? In simple words, all these fund houses wherein they give more focus on ESG parameters. Okay, they will be interested to invest in these green bonds. So all in all, I can say that our government will be able to raise funds at a comparatively cheaper cost, right? Additionally, government is also talking about BAS. Now, what is BAS? Battery as a service. And this concept also I've explained in my EV part 2 video, which will be again be releasing in the month of February itself. So I hope you have subscribed to my channel and hit the bell icon, right? Plus, they are also going to focus on battery swapping. So all these things, they are going ahead with PLI schemes as well. PLIs, production linked incentive. More and more you produce, we are happy to give you incentives, is what government says, right? So with all these things, which stocks could be in focus? It could be something like a Borosil Renewable, Tata Power, and Adani Green. And finally, to the topmost thing that I want to tell you. Acha, by the way, for those who don't know about how India earns money and how India spends money for them, this is just a small, design for you, creative for you, is what I can say. You can just pause the screen and have a look at it. Basic things written on this slide, right? So, all in all, I believe that this is my topmost takeaway, the key takeaway from the budget, which was about the economy, which was about macroeconomic factors. Because I believe that a sectoral boost can give a boost for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but overall economy focus can give a boost for 8 to 10 years, right? So, if you look at these figures, mind blowing. Our capex target for 23 has been targeted at 7.5 trillion from 5.4 trillion, which is a 35.4% increase, which is 35.4% capex growth. And for a developing country like us, I think this is amazing, right? And so, all in all, considering the indirect capex push as well, including PLIs and all that, that figure almost goes to 10 lakh crores. That's nothing but 10 trillion, around 3% of our FY23 GDP, right? Fantastic, very happy with capex, because more and more capex, again, it is going to create a ripple effect, right? More capex will lead to more job creation, will lead to more incomes, will lead to more disposable income, will lead to more and more demand, consumption. Fantastic, right? So very happy with the capex figure which has been given by our government. They are also mentioning key focus area which will be on PM Gati Shakti, wherein they have of course talked a lot about Gati Shakti, inclusive development, production enhancements, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, climate action, financing. Now, because we have gone from 10 to 1, now I hope we have gotten a fair enough idea about all these points, right? If I'm talking about economy, revenue receipts and expenses for financial year 22-23 are as follows. 37.7 trillion are estimated expenses for financial year 22, and 24 trillions are our estimated receipts, which are other than borrowings, of course. So our deficit 24 trillion minus 37.7 trillion, it's targeted at 6.9% of GDP for financial year 22. And if I'm talking about financial year 23, with these revised estimates for or sorry, with these figures in place, expectations 39.45 trillion of budgeted expenses and 22.84 trillions of budgeted receipts. Our budgeted deficit number is at 6.4% of the GDP, right? And they are planning to take this below 4.5% by the end of financial year 25-26. So with all these things that you have understood, whatever I tried to tell you, I hope you have understood that this is a budget which is not focusing on giving only direct incentives, direct subsidies. They are focusing more on growth, focusing more on capex, and giving a boost to overall economy in the longer run. So I believe that whatever has been discussed during the entire budget speech is going to be giving a major impetus in the coming 10 years. So whatever I discuss on our YouTube channel, that I believe that the coming 10 years are going to be key for our economy. They are going to be like golden years for our economy. So, with this, I would like to know your take as well from the budget. I hope I have not made any goof up, have I? All, no? क्या बात है, क्या बात है. My team member is also here to tell me if I'm missing out on some point or goofing up any figure. So I don't think then you will have to check the link in the pinned comment, right? So I hope you have enjoyed this 32 minutes almost breathless lecture on budget. But I believe that it required this sort of explanation wherein you get a full hang of what is in store. And I believe that if such a budget has been presented, then we have अच्छे दिन coming in front of us, not only related to the economy but also related to our stock market, right? So let me know your key takeaways from the budget in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out tomorrow's lecture, which is going to be super interesting, wherein industry experts are going to talk about their views on budget 2022, and also an amazing lecture coming up on 7th of February, wherein I'm going to talk about top 3 stocks based on budget 2022. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye.